Hi everyone, so today I'm going to talk about the most recent YCS 250th. Obviously there was a couple of YCSs over the weekend, London, America and Colombia. Lots of different desktops. Obviously we've got more coverage on the London event and the American event than we do the South American event, but that's always the case. So a couple of things to come out of this tournament, so like sort of discuss about the different decks and how they sort of fell off and how the ones picked up, and basically how I missed the mark with the Labyrinth deck. That's something to learn because I knew there was something there because the deck was so solid, but I think putting the Griffin up, backed up with less starters, I was actually, believe it or not, moving away from starters, so I could like understand that was a bit of a problem, but the troublesome need in the Griffin I was never going to be on, so that's interesting. And Flu as well. So anyway, we'll go through the deck. So we'll start off with the Labyrinth deck. Like I say, yeah, this is I knew something was there with this deck. Played it for the Open. Really sort of thought it was good, but it kept getting trampled over with like big attacking monsters. And I think the Griffin sort of deals a lot with that. Because that's like negating their stuff, while you can use your Labyrinths underneath it to pop. The mannequin card with the shifter, obviously that was found in Utrecht by Schmidt and his team, but like that was really insane because I lost 2 games to shifter, both game 2s, so there was Swift 2-0s, so I can like shifter is a problem for runic decks, so I really like that. I think if there'd been a lot more people on it, you might have seen the deck actually win the event. Obviously it wasn't very popular, but I think a lot of the people who were on the deck, top to that, I'd like to see the conversion rate of, like how many live twins attended, compared to how many topped. So, definitely worth checking out that deck. I've tried the combos, it is pretty good. Yet to try going second, but it seems pretty solid going first. So yeah, we'll move on to Cash. This won the, I believe the American YCS. I'm not sure about Bogota. I literally don't know who won that. But the Cash won the American YCS, piloted by Paulie, and then obviously Hoban and Cotton on Cash. So they believed that, good players, good deck builders, they clearly believed that this was the best deck for the event, which is interesting to see, because it's just so predictable and so boring and so easy to counter, like Hoban was saying, and like I've been saying before. It's like, it's a rock paper scissors format. It's like you're making a Rise Heart, what if they have the Kaiju? You make something else, what if they have the Nib? You're always losing to Eclipse if you don't lock 5. Can you lock 5? Probably not, because you're going to do it 25% of the time. Do you play a Lance? Do you play a Judgment? There's just too many different things. I just don't like the deck at all. I did say, like, to my friends and stuff before, I should probably do a prediction video for the YCSs and just compare them to afterwards. And I was saying that, like, the deck is just too sort of coin flippy, and it sort of has to be your day, and I just didn't like it for that. I felt like a lot of stuff was out of my control. I felt like I'd do the lock 5 and just wait to be Lava Golem or Kaiju or whatever it may be. But yeah, so Sprite, I've left this separate to the live stream ones because this is going to cover the Runic Sprite wasn't really there, Adventure Sprite wasn't really there, but it was Melfi Sprite. I don't really know, like I don't really get what it is with Melfi Sprite. I just feel like it has to be their day. They have to draw the perfect 6-card combo. I mean, if you watched Samir's game in the final, I mean, obviously shout out to him, played really well, all the rest of it, but he did open like the absolute stones, and I feel like that's the way the only way this deck wins is if it opens the absolute stones. So not really for me, but yeah, the Melfi deck, it's got no follow up either. I don't think anyone's taken a game off me with that deck. But then again, it might just be because I know what I'm doing. People are ignorant of the Melfi cards, just play into them horrible misplays. I don't know. But yeah, branded again. This deck fell off massively. I think it was expected. As soon as Ash comes back into the format, this deck just absolutely dies a death. And as soon as people expect it, know how to play around it, there's only so many ways they can prevent the ash from hitting the branded fusion with the cross out and the call by. So, they're going to get caught up with it sometimes, sooner or later. And a Chewy Runic, it got second at the YCS in America. I think Christian Urena played it as well, so he got second at Bogota, and I think there might have been one in the top 8 of London. Not entirely sure. Definitely one in the top 16 though. And then obviously Park played this to a top 32 in the American YCS. And I always like it when Pax played a deck because I feel like he's put a lot of thought into it. He's definitely playing the best deck in the room. He's put his good thought into his side and patterns, etc, etc. So yeah, and obviously I played this as well. Thought it was really good. I feel like you only win when they have like the combination they need, like Kaiju over the Baron, or Kaiju over the Beast, Chain Cosmic on the Fountain. And obviously it's pretty rare. They have to be on like almost exactly those two cards to win. Because you can always chain the Blessing to bring back the Beast, so they have to have something to like out the Beast and then Cosmic the Fountain, or out the Baron then Cosmic the Fountain, which is fair enough if they've got that. But it feels like that's not going to happen, like 2 games in a row. And against Interboards, I feel like this is a really solid deck. Like Interboards as well, it's like 2-0 and a lot of people going second. Obviously means I'm winning twice going second, so it's pretty good. The Fur Hire, you have to forgive me, I know absolutely nothing about this deck. All I know is Dinkaboo played it, so that means it's a good deck. Apparently you can draw like 3 cards in your turn or something, and then 3 cards in their turn, and obviously 3 off the fountain in their turn, 3 off the fountain in your turn. So I don't know, I think maybe 12 cards I can draw over the space of 2 turns, which is crazy. All being level 2s as well. I've seen Dinkaboo making Gigantic Sprite and making use of Sprites, so that's always good, adds extra consistency. Just another avenue for a predominantly sort of Link and Fusion deck to open up the XYZs as well. And saying get the Hugens out of the extra monster zone, get the unwanted links out of the extra monster zone, so you can use more Runic cards. Interested to see his profile, see what it is, but yeah, that's definitely something to consider. Then next on we got Lady Labyrinth, representing obviously Labyrinth. The deck fell off massively as soon as people start preparing for it. If you put in Harpies, Lightning Storms in Cosmics. Also feels like the deck's got to draw like pretty broken to be in regards to pretty broken. I'm not talking like, go first set 5. I'm talking like those 5, 2 of them have to be skill drain, to beat a lot of the decks. Like the Nachuri deck is too floaty with the Runic cards. It grinds too well. And obviously when you're banishing cards, not only are you grinding well, you're taking, you take 1 or 2 Lady Labyrinth out of the deck, or a Lady and a Lovely, and then all of a sudden you've got an extra turn because I can't literally put 9,000 on board without 3 of those. So I thought the grind game of this deck suffered in the Runics, but I think there was a couple showing them, and obviously I lost to Labyrinth, but like I say again, it was a sort of double skill drain, and then, Shifter really putting in the work for that deck. But yeah, it's solid, but I don't think it's ever gonna go anywhere. So I'm just gonna sort of like start to order this deck. I still think Nachuri Runic's up there. I think Cash is up there. I think the Live Twin deck's up there. The Melfi Sprite, so I have to respect, even though I don't like it. I'd rather play Labyrinth than Branded, but not by much. We'll go on to Safer. Safer obviously representing Dragonlink's deck. I just don't think the Dragonlink deck was a good call for this event, given that you're playing into a Rise Heart all the time. It would be nice to see what it's like post, like when obviously a Rise Heart's gone. Somehow, if it ever does go, I don't know if people will just keep sort of engines going to keep it going because it's such a strong card. But once that card's gone, I do think like there's going to be a lot of like opportunity for different decks to come out of their woodwork, and I think Dragonlink will probably be one of those because it's so strong. It's got so much, like, it can just play through hand trap so well. Obviously outside of Nib, I did play a Dragonlink player. I sort of felt sorry for him because I knew exactly what he was trying to do at almost every point, so it gave me such a huge advantage. But I think there's not many people that sort of know Dragonlink as well as I do, and will probably struggle to play around the cards. But yeah, not a good pick for the event. Flunder, obviously, my other loss was to Flunder. The deck's unfortunately pretty good. Still, I still think it really beats Cash. Obviously because the tribute and stuff. There is a bit of an issue against Century Runic where if the Star Beast does a lot of power spells in that deck, but the guy who got fourth at America, he didn't play an extra deck, so he couldn't get Diabolosis, which meant he couldn't play Prosperity, which meant that's one less card to negate off Beast. But he still played like Talons, Upstart, Duality, so there's still a lot of spells there that you can just play, so it's almost like they have to like start with specifically sort of Rabina or Eglin or whatever it is, to the point where they can get to an M pin when the beast is in attack, and then obviously either attack over it or obviously I think M pin when it's can I activate the effect special monster control in attack position. Yeah, so they've got to sort of get to an M pin and then they can start using the spells, but the spells are what get them there in the first place. So roughing it in Chewy Runic, but the guy who beat me was sort of saying that Chewy Runic was a bad matchup for him for reasons discussed, but he did have a good matchup into a lot of other decks like Cash and so on and so forth, because I suppose the deck doesn't really struggle playing through a shifter because they themselves play it, so they're not going to struggle to play through a macro. So yeah, that was the recap. Surprised there was as much Cash as there was, but I think if the likes of Hoban can't find like significant new goo, I mean Schmidt found a good bit of goo, but it wasn't like exactly unknown completely. There was just sort of tidying up the end board. But yeah, if Hoban can't find some crazy combo thing, I think the format's just sort of limited by your eyes hard, to be honest, because you can't play a graveyard deck because you just lose to Cash. So that's really important. So yeah, I think I'm pretty firm on this list. I still think Naturi Runic was the best shout, then probably Cash. That's if you want to just go flipping coins all day. I think the live twin deck's really good. There's definitely some potential there. I'm probably going to play it soon just to get a feel for it, see if I like it. For higher again, Draws Insane, Linkaboo played it, so it must be good. Melfi Sprite, I don't want to play that at all. I'm going to put that behind Dragonlink. Dragonlink, not a good pick for the event, but I do like the deck, so I'm going to put it up. I think it's got potential, not into an Arise Heart, but unfortunately there's a lot of Arise Hearts going about. Sprite, again, Melfi's pretty good, but it's boring. It's got no follow-up. I don't really like it for a long event either, even though it did win like the longest event in Europe ever. The highest attended event in Europe ever. Labyrinth again, trap deck boring, Flunder boring, branded, it's just terrible. Don't play this deck. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and catch you in a bit. Cheers.